Okay, fresh install of 3.2. And the first thing I'm going to do is just do a complete restore. I was running some release candidates, so I'm not sure where this thing's at. Go set some of my settings. I prefer the light to stay on. Ignore the cat. There's no powder yet. I'm going to warm the vibrator up. Open what looks like a new jug of Superformance. Now, I'm going to put my cup under there. I didn't prime anything, so let's go back and prime the vibrator first. It's probably backwards. The vibrator prefers a little bit of powder in there to keep from bouncing out. Dave, go on. So far I've made no other changes other than turning the white light on to a full factory restore. So the offset talked about in the companion, I think, is whatever default is. I believe it's F5 in this version. -5. It's at -2. I'm just going to leave it at default. And I set the high to 100. I wasn't getting any splatter, so I'm going to move to dispense. Let's go back so I can do math easier. Let's just do 40 grains. Now in the profile, this vibrator off mode, I know my machine works better with it on idle. I don't want any timeout, and I don't want any powder level alerts. Everything else is default. That idle, that off. Make sure there's nothing on the platen. Now with these ball powders, I've got to be very careful because I'll ding the bulk tube setting it back in there and make a mess. So I'm a little slower with that cup. Right now I'm just letting the AI do what the AI does. So you can see the bulk in flight or bulk flight measured and the bulk and the fine flight. That 0.02 is what I'm looking for. I'm 0.98 and 0.02. So that gives me some wiggle room on an overthrow. The AI is already in monitor mode, and we're getting 12-second throws at 100% reliability from a factory default setting. Excuse me. So what I'm listening for in that fine is just like it's drawn in the manual. I want to hear it wide open. I want to hear it ramp down, and I want to hear it at the minimum consistently. I hope that makes it into the video, the noise that you can hear from the vibrator. So now I'm going to start making some changes. Bulk in flight, 3 grain offset, the fine 1.72 and 0.15 final speed, low speed final phase is what it's called. The in flight's 0.02. That may change as I speed this up. So I'm going to watch it, and we're just going to take this to probably 1.4. Bulk's at 90. We'll leave it alone. So all I did was speed up the ramp down a little. From what, 1.72 to 1.4. So a third of a second. Now most of my time is being spent making up that 3 grains of offset on the bulk tube, which is a good starting point. Instead of starting with a machine that's not stable and overthrowing, this starts with a machine that's stable, not overthrowing. It gives me something to work with instead of guessing. So we were a little slow on that one. If the pulse gets involved and has to make up any, it takes a lot of time. It waits between each pulse. So we went from, I don't know, 11, 12 to 22 just because we got pulse involved. We're gonna try lowering this. We're gonna lower that. We're gonna get rid of another 0.3 there. See how it does. We're still a little long on the low speed final phase, and I think I went too short. I didn't get a consistent ramp down. I heard large step changes. So let's put that back. Oh, no wonder. I went the... That's what I was supposed to do with that. I was checking that in-flight for the fine. Now if I get that bulk offset too short, I'll start getting inconsistencies in the end of the fine throw. Because that fine run time at max allows the tube to load evenly each throw. I don't think with this ball powder we're going to get the issues with the end of the fine. With a stick powder, I'm probably going to turn the in-flight monitoring off on the fine instrument. I would rather eat one overthrow than the fine instrument adjust its in-flight value and have to recover from that because of one overthrow. So you can see with Superformance, 100% while tuning, and right now we're under 10 seconds, 7.5 seconds. I don't think there's any reason for me to keep fighting with it for another second or half a second worth of gain out of it. It's not worth it to me. Now that threw a 0.04 on the fine. So I think this is where most people say it's throwing good and then all of a sudden it's not. I think it's the in-flight gets adjusted to where pulse must get involved every time because the in-flight value is too high. I don't want it to change that to 0.04. So I'm going to go here and just turn in-flight tracking off. And if it throws a 0.06, then I'll just eat that overthrow and not adjust the in-flight value. See, it threw that 0.06. I don't want it to adjust my in-flight for that. We're at 7.4. 12.12, that hadn't changed. So we've got 1.4 grains here on our ramp down. I don't ever want to throw up into that ramp down with the bulk. So I need to make sure that this number is always greater than that one, and any variance in this in-flight doesn't intrude on that 1.4 grains offset for the fine end. So I'm going to leave that at 2. It's a little long, but it's running at what, 7.5 seconds, 8 seconds at the most. I was going to try to keep throwing until we got an overthrow, but I think the video is going to get too long. So I can hear each phase of the fine throw in every throw. I hear it running at max. I hear a smooth ramp down that's consistently the same time each throw. If I'm getting ramp downs that one time happen really fast and one time happen really slow, that probably means I'm overthrowing from the bulk tube up into my offset here, the ramp down time.